Hi guys! Maybe a lot of you have no idea why this American from Minnesota got so much love and welcome from the Chinese people just because of a small photo album documenting Japanese atrocities during World War II. This video might just clear up all your questions, not just about Ivan Kyle, but also why the Chinese people feel and act the way they do, because you will start to see things from our perspective. This was China over 100 years ago, and that was the States 100 years ago. One side looked poor and hopeless, while the other side is full of prosperity and opportunities. At that time, if a Chinese had a chance to visit the States, they would be astonished, while at the same time, they would also ask, why the hell is my country so far behind? Some people might say, falling behind is not a scary thing. Well, not for Chinese people. There is a place in Nanjing, China called the Memorial Hall of the Victims in Nanjing Massacre by Japanese invaders. When you walk in, you will surely wonder, is this hell? You think so? Not just because of the countless white bombs you see, but also the fact you learn from there. Live dissections means cutting a person open when they're still alive. Bacterial experiments means growing deadly germs on people. Freezing experiments means they made people's limbs frozen stiff and then pour hot water so that the limbs would break and the skin and flesh would burst. Gang rapes, putting things into women's private parts to penetrate their bodies. Cut off men's private parts. More and more. If just hearing these words makes you goosebumps, think about those people who really went through this. After Japan surrendered in 1945, we Chinese have never got any apology from Japan, not even a bit of reflection. Instead, the Japanese government tries to hide this really terrible history and even worship 靖国神社. What is 靖国神社? It's the place where they worship those war criminals, those murderers. If you still don't feel anything after hearing this, I can give you a simple analogy. One day, a guy breaks into your home, rapes your daughter, your wife, and your mom, does experiments on your dad while he is still alive, and makes your siblings come out one by one, then chop their heads off just for the sick fun of it. After he finishes, he goes out and says to his neighbor, hey, I didn't do anything, the so-called victim is lying. And he even says to his children, he missed that happy time in your house. If this happened in a Hollywood movie, you and I would totally know what the victim will do next. But this isn't a movie. There are documentaries 32, 22, and a film 大韩 tells the story of a group of elderly women who were made into military sexual slaves by the Japanese army. Some people asked them what they most wanted to tell the younger generation. They said,
娃子们以后把咱家的们给看住了，再不能让人家啥踢开就踢开，啥进来就进来。
Now I bet you can get what this history means to us. It's humiliations, pure humiliations. We call it the national shame. But back then, what could we do? We could only put up with it. We can't blame anyone because we fully understand where this humiliation comes from. It comes from falling far behind, so far behind that we couldn't even defend ourselves. So we start to sacrifice, to contribute, to work our ass off. We put hope in nobody but ourselves. As an old saying goes, 自强不息. No God, no savior, no excuse, just hard-working people. One of our scientists even said, I would prostrate myself in the dust, determined to scrub off every bit of the shame that stains my motherland. Why? We didn't want that horrible time to happen again. Some people keep saying that we are the threat. But indeed, what we are actually doing is just like the main character in a Hollywood movie. We try our best to protect our family members from being raped, tortured, and killed just for fun. Again. This video isn't to make you guys hate Japanese people. In fact, there are many noble-minded Japanese who keep asking their government to face up to this history. But we Chinese do have hatred. Who do we hate? We hate those Japanese soldiers who killed so many of us. We hate the Japanese government that still doesn't want to admit this history. And we hate those people who don't care about this history at all and even tell Chinese people to just let it go. What we hate is the dark side of the human nature. The lies, the injustice, the cruelty, and the indifference to atrocities. What we hate is the inhuman part of human nature. From time to time, we have been taught, don't forget about the history. Why? We are a country with long history. We know nothing is ever new under the sun. The only characteristic of history is that it keeps repeating, and repeating. And the only lesson humanity has ever learned from history is that humanity has never learned any lessons from history at all. Why Irwin Kyle is so popular among Chinese people is not just because he has provided the evidence, but because in our Chinese people's eyes, he is the Westerner who stands on the side of historical truth. He is the Westerner who stands on the side of human justice. If humanity is ever to achieve true global unity, those dark history of mankind is class 101. Why? Because if we don't know what true darkness is, how can we be so sure that we are even close to true brightness?